all you miniatures lovers out on the interwebs. I'm Dakian. It's a Monday, and I'm here to ramble. It is today, Monday the 11th of June, 2022. We have here a collection of mostly Reaper bones. I think all of it is bones, no metal minis. The only non-Reaper, non-bone stuff is this little demon from Hassle-Free Miniatures, who I simply painted up as a buff dude, standing on this fiery base. The owlbear, opposed to the previous example of this exact same model I painted, was mostly in just plain browns with some black and white and gray for the feathers. Here I went more colorful. I decided on green feathers simply because I had a lot of green paint on my palette, and then I decided to get a more yellowish tinge to the fur to sort of match that, or to make it seem, to make it blend a bit more. I don't know how it turned out. We have the Orc Shaman. This figure I've already painted in a metal version, so I inverted the colors a bit. This one has more red and blue on him. The other one was more green, had a lighter shade on his hair and beard. This ogre I've also painted the same model before. I went with a black bear pelt instead of a brown this time, and so I changed some of the colors on the other stuff, more greenish. His skin color is darker. It has more purple in it. Don't know if you can tell. The previous one I painted was much paler. Yeah. And here we have the character minis. Again, let's see which ones. These two, these three I've painted before in bones, so I changed the colors around. For example, this one, the previous example, had blonde hair and more blue-gray clothing, so I changed to red clothing and dark hair. Here I've inverted the colors. He had a sort of more, well, different colors. I forget which ones exactly. Same here. This one is darker than the previous example of this model I painted. Here we have the ones like I said, I'm pretty sure I have this model painted somewhere. I can't find it. So I'm just working off memory which colors I used last time and try to change them around. This guy, maybe I haven't painted him before, but I have at least one copy of the metal version of this before they changed the Dungeon Dwellers line to be all bones instead of metal. So I'll have to remember that if I find it. These two are new and unique. A little, I don't know, priestess, just noble woman, maybe, and another monk type guy, a younger one this time. Yeah. So then we have the siege equipment. Let's bring that up. It became very dark and dingy because I gave it all a Ormpita Strong Tone wash at the end. But I feel that kind of suits because, you know, if it's on a battlefield, it's going to be muddy and dirty and get, yeah, really dirty. So maybe the rock could have been a lighter gray. That's probably something I can fix that in post, so to speak. And here we have the guys. I mean, I tried to get some contrast in there by making the ropes more yellow, which is probably not naturalistic, but yeah, you know, just to make it seem a bit different. And finally, the reason I had all this green on my palette is I painted the Kaiju Chaos, who is like a Godzilla type. But as I said, rather small Godzilla if you compare it to human. This is, you know, any movie version of Godzilla is much bigger than this. But a scale version of Godzilla would not even fit on my gaming table. So, and for the base I used sort of the crackle effect to give a sort of burnt ground feel to it. I thought that was appropriate. He's walking around just burning everything up, probably. And yeah, so that's 15 models down this week. Pretty good haul, so to speak. But I did prep more, as you might remember, and so I bit off a bit more than I could chew. So let's go to the work table and see what's left. The unfinished business out of the stuff I had prepped to paint is the dino people, the dinosaur dudes, and all that I've gotten done is the iron so far, the silver metallics. Still need the bronze and gold metallics and, well, everything else. So, yeah. But at least now I have a grasp of what they look like, and yeah, I'm gonna get cracking on painting these. I'll try to finish them by next week, if I don't, you know, lose my enthusiasm for them. Here we see most of the new stuff. There's one thing that doesn't fit in this picture. I'll show it to you just in a moment. But basically it's the shipment of stuff from Reaper that I got last week. We have the Naga, who is protecting a chest of treasure. We have the two centaurs or centaurs, one both ladies, this one kind of armored with a spear, and she's got a fur on the top of her skin. Oh well. And then we have this, I suppose, cleric or druid or wizard or something with the biggest dildo I've ever seen. I mean, she would need a horse-sized one, of course, but yeah. Quite literally a wizard staff with a knob at the end. Oh well. Then here we have the various, well, first off we have the various Fey creatures. We have the Nereid and the Naiad. I forget which one is which. We have the Dryad and the Satyr and the Dwarf. Weirdly. In the back we have this wizard. We have the 1920s doctor. I assume he's 1920s. He's in the chronoscope range, and I always think of these as Call of Cthulhu minis, like, or some sort of pulp adventure stuff. So it's from the 20s or 30s. We have the two knights with maces, and we got the bonus mini, the sort of pseudo Viking-esque dude with way too much plate armor to be a Viking, but you know, he has a name, I forget it, but anyway. So yeah, that's them. And now on to the last figure that I promised to show you. So the final thing I've started to prep is the mammoth, and I've partially assembled. I've assembled it in two big pieces, the head and the body. The body, the stuff that's glued on is the legs and these two spikes here, this one and the little one there. With the head, the trunk, the tusks, and the secondary tusks on the side have all been glued in. The reason I haven't stuck the head on yet is that I think I'm going to have to prime it in pieces to fit it in my spray booth and then glue the head on after. I'm wondering whether I should have a base for it as well. I think maybe this very minimal base, which just barely keeps its feet under it, would work, because there's still enough clearance to get the brush in and paint the underside. You know, don't need to paint it a lot, but some minimal stuff. And I think it's good for it to have something to stand on. So yeah, I'll probably go with this. And yeah, that should work. So this model has a lot of stuff to paint, but I don't know, a large area of the surface is just the fur. So maybe it's not going to be that complicated. We'll see, we'll see. Not sure this will get done by next week, but it will be fully assembled and primed, and there'll be some paint on it, at least, I think. Yeah. So that's all the stuff that's in the works currently. So I thought I'd slow down a little bit on the new projects front, since I'm starting to build up a bit of a backlog. It's under control still, but you know, let's not let it get out of control by piling on too much new stuff in the queue. So for next week, I picked out 3 character minis, one of which still requires some assembly, from the core set to bring to the painting evening on Monday at the game store. Well, painting afternoon. And for painting at home, I have stuff from the add-ons, from the options. We have the Demonic Temptation, which is a set of 6 succubi and incubi. I believe, yes, there's a male. That one's a female. Can't tell all the others through the plastic, but it's a mix. And one big dude, one big mini, the Fire Giant Hellbringer. You can see it still requires some assembly as well. The body is pretty big. I think I mentioned I want to start at least one of these really big minis per week. And the reason, apart from the fact that I have more time to paint during the summer, is actually that when I want to varnish them, I can prime them in pieces in my spray booth, but for varnishing they need to be fully assembled and complete. And if they don't fit in my spray booth for airbrush varnish, I have to take them out on my balcony and use rattle cans. And I want to be able to do that while the weather still allows. So before it gets too cold or too rainy in the autumn, yeah, it's good to do it while it's still summer. And that's why I'm trying to get through those models. In fact, if summer starts to run out, maybe I'll have to pick up the pace and do 2 per week. But we'll see. But anyway, that was this episode's stuff and bother. Stuff and nonsense. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. Comment, share, subscribe. You know, the usual YouTube stuff. And I'll see you in a week. Same day of the week. Same channel, same Dakian. But for now, I'm signing off.